Imagine this. A handsome man approaches women on the street, holding nothing but a guitar case, and suddenly, no turns into yes. Or picture a salesperson struggling to sell a $75,000 product, but with a simple joke about $1 million, negotiations vanish. These aren't coincidences. They're psychological tricks of persuasion, and they're completely legal. In this video, we uncover 6 mind-blowing persuasion tactics so subtle they work like magic on the human brain. You'll discover how flowers can make strangers feel romantic, why a simple background image of clouds can influence comfort-focused decisions, and how clever wordplay makes people act in alignment with their identity. Here's the twist. You've probably fallen for these tricks before without even realizing it, but by the end of this video, you'll know how to ethically use these tactics to transform your relationships, career, and confidence. Ready to unlock your secret superpower? Let's get started. Trick 1. The romance of flowers. Imagine this. A strikingly handsome man walks up to women in a bustling shopping mall, asking for their phone numbers. As you'd expect, most women hesitate or refuse. After all, handing your number to a stranger is a big deal. But then, something fascinating happens. Whenever this man approaches women in front of a flower shop, the results change dramatically. Suddenly, he gets far more yeses. Why? The answer lies not in his charm, but in the subconscious association with romance. Flowers symbolize love and affection, subtly influencing the women to view him more favorably. Principle. Priming. Priming happens when subtle cues in our environment shape the way we think and act. In this case, the flower shop primed the women's subconscious to think romantically, leading to a more positive response. Step-by-step guide to apply priming. Identify your goal. Define the emotion or behavior you want to encourage, e.g., trust, excitement, romance. Curate your environment. Add elements that align with this emotion. Example, use fresh flowers to create a calm, welcoming atmosphere. Use related cues. Choose words, visuals, or objects that subtly reinforce your desired outcome. How can this ethically transform your life? Priming in personal and professional settings. Want to inspire creativity? Prime the room with vibrant visuals. Hosting an important dinner? Use romantic cues like candles and soft lighting. Ethical approach. Focus on creating positive, meaningful atmospheres to enhance connection and joy. Trick 2. The guitar case effect. Picture this. A man stops women on the street asking for a date. This time, researchers test the power of objects. When the man carries a guitar case, he gets significantly more positive responses. The women didn't just see a man, they saw a musician, someone creative and passionate. And that, my friends, is the power of perception. Principle, anchoring certain objects or symbols, anchor specific traits in our minds. A guitar suggests talent and charisma, while other objects communicate entirely different messages. Step-by-step guide to apply anchoring. Know your audience. Understand what traits they value most, e.g., confidence, intelligence. Choose your anchor. Use an object that subtly communicates those traits. Example, wear glasses to signal intelligence. Reinforce the message. Your actions should align with the traits your anchor suggests. How can this ethically transform your life? Anchoring with integrity. In negotiations, reference higher benchmarks to set realistic expectations. Ethical approach. Use anchors to clarify and connect, not to manipulate. Trick 3. Clouds, coins, and comfort. Imagine this. You're shopping for furniture online. Half of the shoppers see a website with a background of fluffy clouds, while the other half sees images of shiny coins. Now here's the kicker. Without even realizing it, these two groups focus on completely different factors. The shoppers exposed to clouds prioritize comfort, selecting soft and cozy options. Meanwhile, those seeing coins zero in on price, hunting for the cheapest deals. But here's the twist. Afterward, both groups deny being influenced by the background images. Yet, their decisions tell a very different story. Principle. Framing. Framing involves presenting information or environments in a way that subtly steers attention towards specific features or decisions. Step-by-step guide to apply framing. Understand your objective. Define what aspect you want to highlight, e.g., quality, affordability. Frame the context. Use visuals, words, or layouts to subtly emphasize emphasize this aspect. Example, add cozy visuals to a presentation when promoting comfort-focused products. Test and refine. Experiment with different frames to discover what resonates most effectively with your audience. How can this ethically transform your life? Framing for mutual benefits. When pitching a product, emphasize its long-term value over initial costs. Ethical approach. Always align the frame with your audience's genuine needs and preferences. Trick 4. The million-dollar joke now. Let's talk about a savvy salesperson. He struggled to sell his $75,000 product because clients constantly tried to negotiate, but then he made a simple change. Before mentioning the price, he joked, "Obviously, I can't charge you $1 million for this." This small remark transformed his results. Why? Suddenly, $75,000 seemed reasonable when compared to $1 million. It's the contrast effect in action. Principle. Contrast effect. The contrast effect occurs when our perception of one thing is influenced by what we compare it to. Step-by-step guide to apply the contrast effect. Create a reference point. Set a high or low anchor for comparison. Example. Mention a much higher number before presenting your actual offer to make it seem more reasonable. Be subtle and natural. Avoid making the comparison feel forced or out of place. Use humor or casual conversation to introduce the anchor naturally. Adjust based on context. Tailor the reference point to your audience's expectations and preferences. How can this ethically transform your life? Contrast effect for clarity. In presentations, juxtapose a complex idea with a simpler one to highlight clarity. Ethical approach. Use contrast to enhance understanding, not to obscure truths. Trick 5. Adventurous Energy Drinkers imagine this scenario. Marketers are struggling to get people to try a new energy drink. Instead of directly asking, they pose a simple yet strategic question. Do you consider yourself adventurous? Most people proudly answer, yes. And here's the magic. When they're then asked to try the drink, they feel an almost irresistible need to align their actions with their adventurous self-image. This, my friends, is the commitment principle in action. Principle, commitment, and consistency. When people publicly affirm a belief or trait, they feel a deep subconscious drive to act consistently with it. Step-by-step guide to apply commitment and consistency. Start small. Ask simple, agreeable questions that align with the behavior you want to encourage. Example, do you believe in supporting local businesses? Link the action. Follow up with a request that matches their earlier commitment. Example, great. Would you like to try our locally sourced products? Reinforce their identity. Frame the action as part of who they are, strengthening their commitment to follow through. How can this ethically transform your life? Commitment and consistency to empower. Example, ask reflective questions like, would you like to take the first step toward your goal? Ethical approach. Use this technique to inspire growth and positive action, while always respecting their autonomy. Trick 6. Shoulder-to-shoulder connection. Here's a story that will surprise you. Researchers showed groups of 18-month-old toddlers images of people in different positions, standing alone, apart, or shoulder-to-shoulder. Later, when items were deliberately dropped on the floor, the toddlers who saw the shoulder-to-shoulder image were 3 times more likely to help. Think about that. Visual cues alone influenced their sense of unity and cooperation. Principle, unity. Unity is about fostering a shared identity or sense of belonging, which increases the likelihood of cooperation and connection. Step-by-step guide to apply. Unity. Highlight shared values. Emphasize commonalities with your audience or team. Example, as fellow professionals, we all understand the value of hard work. Use inclusive language. Replace you and me with we to strengthen connection. Example, together, we can achieve this. Create shared experiences. Build unity through activities, stories, or visuals that promote collaboration. Example, use team-building exercises to foster camaraderie. How can this ethically transform your life? Unity to strengthen bonds. Example, as a team leader, emphasize shared goals with phrases like, we're in this together. Ethical approach. Use unity to foster genuine connections while avoiding any undue leverage of shared identity. These psychological psychological tricks unveil how effortlessly our decisions can be shaped, often without us even realizing it. From priming environments with romantic cues to leveraging the power of unity, these principles are powerful tools for influencing behavior and building connections. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use these techniques ethically, ensuring a mutual benefit for everyone involved. Now, pause for a moment and reflect. Which of these strategies resonates with you the most? How will you apply these principles to transform your life, your career, or even your relationships? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to Become Better Being for more transformative insights that can elevate your life. Your next step? It's just one thoughtful choice away. Let's continue this journey, growing together, one step at a time.